Hello, everybody, and welcome back to my channel. I just realized I actually meant to do something before stream. So I hope you bear with me for just a minute while I get this taken care of. I apologize for the little bit of a delay in getting started with our stream today. Let's see. Did that work? Can you see my game, guys? I hope so. Hmm. For some reason, I cannot connect to my feed. I don't know what's going on. I hope you guys can see it. I'm trying to check my stream, but it's not really connecting to my stream right now for some reason. I can't connect to my stream. Um okay, it's not capturing my game. I should have troubleshot this before I went live, and I actually kind of forgot. Did that fix it? It did not. Okay. I think the problem is that my laptop actually went to gaming mode. I should have troubleshot this before I went live. So that is my bad. Hmm. Let me see. Let me see if that works. Let me try to restart my game. I'm sorry, guys. If you could just bear with me for just a little bit. I'm trying to troubleshoot The Sims 4. If I can't figure this out, we're just going to go hang out in Minecraft. I don't understand why this is causing issues. Let's go back. The only thing I can figure is that I went into gaming mode. Okay, so I'll be honest. My laptop is technically a gaming laptop, and it goes into gaming mode, and I'm not sure how to get it out of gaming mode. The only things that it goes into gaming mode for is like when I play The Sims or when I play Detroit Become Human. That's when it goes into gaming mode. So I'm wondering if maybe that has something to do with it. Let me see. I'm not sure I can turn that off actually, but I would think it would still capture the screen. I will try to figure that out later on off of stream. So let's just kind of revert to something. Let's see. I think I'm going to have to actually open Twitch for this one. I'm going to just go to my stream manager. I'm going to change this over to, or I'm going to change it back over to Minecraft, and we're just going to hang out Minecraft, I guess, today. And we will do a Sims 4 stream later on. Okay, so we changed this over to Minecraft stream. I really want to apologize because I did not realize that my streaming software will not pick up Sims 4. I really do want to apologize for that. I really fully intended to do the Sims 4 stream today. That's what I had planned on, so it's my bad. But I can't really tell if it's going to show it or not until I'm on stream. I don't really have a way to check it. Um, but it never occurred to me that my laptop actually would not show a game. I would probably need to switch streaming software to do that, and I don't really have the overlays and things that I would need for, or that I would need to switch over to the other one and the stream look the same. It's actually very poor quality when I use the other software. So I would actually rather use the software I'm currently using. Eep. Eep. Come on. There we go. But actually, but for real, in order to switch over to the streaming software I know will actually stream The Sims, I would need to change the streaming software I'm using. And while I don't really want to do that to you guys, I don't really know of another way to actually do that. And somehow I lost my stream. Okay, I got it back. Alright, so I really honestly didn't have anything planned for today. I was planning on just working on some stuff on Sunday. But we're here, guys, so if you are new, because I do see that there's some people hanging out. If you're new here, this is just a quick tour of one of my bases. This is my base with all of my villager friends. As you can see, there are several, and I even have a little breeder there. This is actually a very large base area. I have a little nether portal over there. You can barely see it, but it's right there. I'm probably going to end up moving that somewhere else. But for now, it's there. This is... I'm going to eventually expand this out a long ways over here so I can repeat this U of villagers back over there. So it'll be a second one of this. And honestly, in case you don't really know much about this server, I'm playing on Exile Crafters. I know I've teased an announcement about Exile Crafters for the longest time. Well, I'll say for the longest time, for the past week. I've been teasing something about it. Looking forward to an announcement for it. And I'm not giving you that announcement today, guys. But there is actually something in the works. I was not kidding. It's just not something that you're probably going to see today. Or hear today. But I promise you there is something exciting in the works. Now, this server works on land claim system. So if I get out, I think it's in here. Yeah. So if we get on my little golden shovel here, it'll show the edges of my claim. Am I even inside my claim at this point? Does it end like over here or something? Possibly. Yep, it does. Okay. Wow. So, I need to actually fix my land claim. We're going to move the land claim over to right around here. So that's about where this is going to end. I'm not going to go much further out here, but I need it to extend at least 3 blocks past this, 3 blocks this way, because I'm going to be surrounding this by a wall. Now, our land claim system here on Exile, it does work with the golden shovel. As you can see here, I'm going to also extend this out a bit because I need it to go a little bit past this right here. Think about 3 blocks past this. I want to give this a little room here, so I'm going to extend this out just a wee bit. And then we're going to have to leave about 3 wide for the wall that's going to surround this. So I need to extend this out about 6. Let's see, where's the edge? Okay, so there's the edge. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay. Extend that out to about right there. So as you can see, there's still some I need to clear out for this because it's not completely cleared out. I need to actually add some blocks across here to kind of cover that hole. But all in all, it's a pretty easy system. You would just right click to expand the claim, and you can see there in the bottom left in the chat part of it how many blocks I have. I actually have about 70,000 blocks I can claim. It carried over with my rank for some reason. Like, Exile Crafters has actually been around since about 1.16. We just haven't had very many people play with us. But we've been around since about 1.16. And we have reset twice in that time period. We reset for 1.17 and 1.19. We're not going to be resetting for 1.20, but we did reset for those 2 versions. For some reason, when we reset for 1.19, the owner, he didn't actually wipe everybody's ranks. And looking at how many claim blocks I have, I don't think he wiped the claim blocks allowed to us either. I'm not sure why he didn't, or he. I'm not sure why that happened, but it happened. Um, so usually you don't start off with that many. Like when you first join the game, you only have a few land claim blocks. You don't have a whole lot, which is very typical of a land claim server. I have a lot because I have been playing on here since before since 1.16. But before it went public, I've been playing on here since then. Mainly because I know the owner from a different server that we played on together. Um, so yeah, but this little shovel is really good at expanding my land claims. That's what it's used for. As far as claiming goes, that's about the gist of it. It's something that I hope to make a lot more clear once I really get into fixing things up, which it's not going to be right now. Obviously, I'm not at a spot where I can make a whole lot of changes at the moment, but I will get there eventually, and I will make a lot of I will. Well, I say a lot of changes. It's probably not going to be a whole lot of changes. So as you can probably guess from the way I'm talking, you can probably guess what the announcement's going to be, and you're probably going to be right. You're probably right. So in case you haven't, uh, so in case you didn't know, I am going to actually announce this fairly soon on the Discord. But let's just keep it between us, guys, okay? Let's just keep it between us for now. Also, I forgot to post on Discord that I'm streaming, so I'm going to do that real quick. And I'm just throw my axe down. Why not? Also, I really do apologize about my voice. I'm actually getting over being sick, and in case you missed my stream last night, not only am I getting over being sick, but I lost my voice, like all the way lost my voice, and that's why I couldn't stream last weekend. It wasn't because I was sick. I mean, I was sick, but that's not why. It was because I actually had no voice. As one of my friends put it, one of my IRL friends put it, I sounded like a mouse, and she wasn't wrong. I want to see if I can reinvite somebody. I can't. Okay. Well, it's on Discord now, so maybe somebody will be joining us in a little bit. Also, I'm going to straight up apologize. I cannot really see chat right now. Like, I'm hanging out on my own stream, but I can't. I'm trying to watch chat, but I can't really watch it. So I apologize. Um, yeah, I want to announce things on Discord before I really announce them on the stream. I think that's only fair to the people that have been playing on the server for since forever, basically. Because we do have some people that have been playing for years. A couple of years anyway. And that's something that I've always really thought was important was if somebody has been playing on the server for a long time, they deserve to kind of know what's going on, what's up with things. Not so much because you need them to make decisions on things. It's not it. It's more just courtesy. Like, hey, I think you need to know this is going on, this is about to happen, and whatnot. It just seems like a courtesy. It's something. Why do I have the same things as so many other things? It's just kind of like a courtesy. It's not like they have to know every single thing that's going on or know the details of everything, but giving them a heads up, especially when there's going to be big change in something, is very important. But also, I don't want to give people the wrong impression or say things if I'm not 100% certain about when it's going to happen. So I choose to not announce some things that I probably should on my on Discord. And because that's the case, I don't want to announce it on stream either without first announcing it on Discord. Also, I was very shocked today. I saw that that there was no new episode waiting for me of My Hero Academia uh when I logged on to Crunchyroll. There's only a new episode of Spy Family. Man, I was upset. I was really looking forward to Dabi. I was really looking forward to his stuff. Because I remember they teased that at the end of the last episode. They really teased his stuff. Now, if you haven't been reading the manga for this is actually going to. Well, I'm not going to say it's a huge surprise because I would think that if you've been following the show, or even if you've actually been on Twitter, because Twitter, y'all just can't keep your mouth shut. The fandom just cannot keep their mouth shut. It's just you spoil it for everybody else. Like I knew about this before I read the manga. I knew about it before I watched the show. I knew what was going to happen before I watched it or read it. So if you don't know what's going to happen, I don't really want to spoil it for you, but you've probably seen this coming for a while. Like you probably have honestly seen it coming. And I think that everybody that followed the show before this actually came out or came to light kind of low key knew. Like, there are so many conspiracy theories that were just exactly on the money for this. So there's a hint for you guys. If you had a conspiracy theory about Dabi, you were probably right. I'm just saying. Also, if any of you guys came here expecting The Sims 4, I am very, very sorry. I could not get the game to actually work on stream. And it's not something that I wanted to sit here and mess around with for an hour, 30 minutes, and while everybody just stared at a black screen. I will troubleshoot this and I will fix it, or I will see if I can. One of the two. If I can fix it, I will definitely let you know and I will try to stream it from a different device. Though the other device that I have, I cannot guarantee the quality of stream. It's just how it is. I can't guarantee that it's going to be high quality. Let me get some more. Honestly, I do not use blaze rods all that much at all. So finding out that this is actually an excellent source of fuel for furnaces was a major thing for me. I was very excited. Now I have an excuse to sit there and swipe at blazes for an hour or two. Also, if you're new here, because you were expecting The Sims, you came for The Sims and you stayed for Minecraft, I thank you. And I hope you actually enjoy. Oh, but I haven't even shown you the best part yet. Okay, so as you see, this is one of my bases. This is one of them. The other one, I don't know why I just have one left. Did I miss something somewhere? Maybe. Okay, so a quick tour. So this is one of my bases, as I said before. This is the one with all the villagers. This is my other base that I just went to for the blaze rods. This is just a large item sorter. That's all this is one large item sorter. It's 2 levels. Now, a lot of this I actually built off stream. A lot of the sorter I built off stream. But I built it off stream because, well, I get very into listening to streamers. I get into listening to music and podcasts. And I lose track of what I'm doing. And I did not really intend to make all of this off a stream, but I did it anyway. So that's that. And as you see, this is a very large mushroom island. Very large mushroom island. If I actually turned on fly mode and I went up and I showed you the entire island, which I have actually flown over with rockets and stuff, and when I realized how large the island was, I switched over to fly mode and I looked around. This island is probably 3 times the size. This island is probably 3 times the size of most islands. It's that large. This island, when I went and I explored a bit, just kind of walking around, I found actually 3. I always say 2 because that's how many I have homestead at. But there's technically 3 ocean monuments off this island. Like 2 of them, if I started walking like in that general direction, there's one that's very, very close by that's literally within walking distance. Then the other one is within walking distance of that one, but further that way. It's hard to see off the edge of the island. Let me see if I still have homestead at these. But yeah, if I just kind of kept walking this general direction, I would run right into it. Let me see though if I actually have homestead. I do, okay. So this is the first one. As you can see, it is literally right off the edge of the island. So this is my guardian farm that I have. I don't really have a portal to the nether that I can go in that lines up with this. So I actually have a home set in the Nether. It's called Shard. So this is the other side of it. I don't know about you, but I like the sound. And this, if I actually sat AFK here for a couple hours, and I filled all of these chests. I would need to actually expand this to about 3 or 4 chests if I was going to sit there and AFK for more than about an hour or so. I would actually need to expand this to about 3 or 4 tall. Then there's Guardian 2. Um, this one is a little harder to see, but you can see the edge of it right there. The I just happened to be going at night and I saw the lights. I just happened to be walking this part at night and I saw the lights, or I saw the glow from it. But that's another one right there. I'm actually saving that one. I do plan on making a second Guardian farm. As you saw, that one works both in the overworld and the nether. So that one, I can only really use that one when I'm the only one online. Or if I know I'm going to be the only one, or I know that there's not going to be anybody in the nether. Because you can still have another player online, or several players online actually, for a farm that works half of the nether, or that uses the nether as part of the kill area. But you would have to not have anybody in the nether part for it to work. Oh wow, that was easy. So the one that I want to build on that one actually is man, I'm just mowing them down. Well, I mean, this is a fully decked out sword. But I'm going to actually use that one, the second one that I showed you guys, to just do an entirely overworld. So that way, even if there's other players on and they go into the nether, it's not going to not work. It's going to have it's not going to make as much, but that's fine. So I also want to say that right over there, like the other side of this hill, if I keep on walking a bit. Now, I actually did use the Eyes of Ender to find it. But you see, right over here is literally like right over here. Right in this area. Okay. If I go out there just a little bit, it's not completely covered, but there is a stronghold right over there. Or actually, it might be a little bit further. It might be right over in there. But it's not completely covered, but there's a stronghold. I used Eyes of Ender. I was just like on a whim. I'm like, you know what? Wouldn't it be funny? Wouldn't it just be funny if I found a stronghold right next to my base? So I used the Eyes of Ender. I found a stronghold right by my base. Now, the first base that I found that I started actually making into a base was the one that I was at when I logged on where I left off last in the Badlands, not Badlands, the Savannah. That's the one that I originally started with. I wanted to find a mushroom island or another biome that I had never built in before. I really wanted a mushroom island, honestly. But I wanted just in general, I wanted a biome that I had never made a home in before. Even if it had been a grove or stony peaks or snowy biome, I wanted one that I hadn't built on before. I thought also about making a sky base over an ocean, which I still may do that at some point, but I thought about it and I just found this by accident, just doing wild, and I liked it. So, actually, how I found it originally wasn't that I was trying to find one of these islands. I was actually trying to find a fortress in the Nether. So there's just like so somewhere on this island, I don't quite remember where. There's just a random portal, random Nether portal. But yeah. Also, this island's just freaking huge. I feel like it's an island that's connected with two or three other mushroom islands because this is larger than like a forest biome. This is just larger than a forest biome. I was trying to find another biome nearby because I wanted to see if I could find villagers and bring them, even if it's just through a nether portal. See if I could find other villagers to bring them to my base so I could just have everything together. But I walked and I walked and I walked and I walked. I It had to have been I was walking for like an hour or so. I had to have been walking for like an hour or so. And I just couldn't find anything other than mushroom biome. Like for real. It just keeps going. This biome just keeps going. But somewhere over here, there's actually another ocean monument somewhere. It's like when you go to this side of the island, and you actually find the ocean on the side of the island, there's an ocean monument. And it just keeps on going. This is the Energizer Bunny of Mushroom Islands. It's no wonder that there's so much just like off the edge of this island. Ew, grass. I don't know where it is, but I know there's another ocean monument over this way. Somewhere. I don't think there's another one that's as close as that one, the first one that I showed you. I don't think there's one that's as close as that. But I know there's another one over here. Is that it? I think that might just be a drown spawn. Well, let's go find out. Just push. Yeah, I think that's just a spawn. I don't think that's anything. It's a ruined portal. Alright, I'll bite. What we got? Fire charge, flint, gold sword, boots. Ugh. Okay. But I will take this. Actually, I'll just leave it for another player. I'm not that mean. Anyway. Also, I've been noticing that there's a lot of people that have been joining today. Like they join, they play for a little while, and then they leave. If any of you come expecting to see me online or expecting to see me streaming online, I just want to say, in case you actually do come and watch any of my streams, I do want to say welcome, guys. I am not always going to be online, but I am glad to see you guys join. I hope that one day we can line things out so we can play together. That would be cool. And streamers are always welcome on Exile Crafters. We do welcome that. And we actually on our Discord have promotion, have a self promo channel. So if you stream, you can post on there. If you want to, you can also tag staff and we can actually put it in the announcements channel if you want. Of course, if you don't want to, that's fine. But we will do it. We don't mind. Right now, like I said, I'm pretty much the only active player. There's one other player that's come back that's active. But he is not very active. Not very active. So he's not always online, or he's not online as much as I usually am. That's another ruined portal. Wonder where some of these portals lead. I don't think you can make a portal underwater, though. Don't think that exactly works. I think you'd have to actually build a room around it and then dry out the water. But that's interesting. Is it a ruined portal right on the island? No, that actually looks like a drowned spawn. That's partially submerged. Huh. Weird. Cool, but weird. But there's a monument. See, guys, I told you there's another monument over here. Oh, what? Oh, hi. You can't get me. I don't have my trident to get you with, but think I can do this. Maybe not. Ouch. Wait. Did it drop one? No, I don't think it dropped one because the other drown would have probably picked it up before I got to it. Yeah, that's not one I can pick up. But anyway, it's kind of cool that there are actually three monuments. At least. There might be more. I don't know, because this is just a massive island. And my internet apparently has slowed up. I'm lagging a bit. Either that or the server's lagging. I'm not sure. Can't be the server, though. It shouldn't be. There we go. Alright, guys. So, let's go back to our other home. To my other home. I don't know. The server should not be lagging. I'm watching my stream and it doesn't look laggy. So I'm not sure what the problem is. Yeah, it's not lagging at all. Hmm, weird. Oops. Starting to walk backwards. Okay. So this was basically everything that I did while I was away. But I will actually give you guys a little bit of a rundown on the next farms I'm going to make. So I haven't decided exactly where I'm going to put it yet, but I am going to make a small kelp farm. I am going to make a small sheep farm. Like I was saying last night on stream, I don't really think that there's going to be a major need anytime soon for wool, and I'm going to make a sheep farm that can always expand. Because if you start with like two sheep or three sheep, four sheep, you have the wool that you need to make carpets. You have uh just the wool that you'll need for anything really. Especially if you're like me and you don't really make like art or anything, like map art, it's more than enough. So now under I will eventually make a moss farm, But that is going to be under my other base. Under my other base, I'm also probably, or actually, I might do this, like on top of the ground, not under the ground. I think underground, I'm just going to leave the extra storage, the storage room, and the brewing room. I think those are the only things I'm going to put underground. I'm just going to leave it as is, pretty much. So I'm just going to really, okay. I'm just going to put everything on top of the ground. What? Excuse me. Okay. I am the only one online. Yes, I am. Oh, my ping is off. Usually I have full ping, so that's kind of weird. But anyway, I'm going to try to build everything on over the ground there. So, um, I actually prefer building things underground. It's a challenge to me to build things over the top of the ground, on top of the ground. I like actually burrowing down and figuring out the space so I can dig it out and all that. I actually enjoy that. The only time I haven't really enjoyed it was one time I decided to make a trading hall underground. So I had to figure out how to dig out the rooms, like for the villagers to stay in, so that it would look just like those and work just like those. That did not work for me. So since we're here, we're just hanging out, we're chilling. Um, I usually like talking about anime, which that is a big part of me. So I enjoy talking about it. It's a big part. Anime is a big part of me and what I like. So I really enjoy it. Really enjoy talking about it. Now, that being the case, I feel like I ought to give you guys a little story of how I got into it. Because I know that as somebody who enjoys anime, I like hearing how other people got started on it. I enjoy hearing how they heard about it, found out about it, started watching it, what shaped their tastes in anime. Manga, too, actually. So, for me, it was more. Nobody really told me, hey, you should watch anime. Nobody really told me that. If I'm being completely honest, nobody actually told me, "Hey, you need to watch anime." Da 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 da. So I, I mean, now, okay. So a lot of the time, I will claim that it was somebody I worked with. That there was this guy I worked with. He started talking about anime. He tried to get me to watch anime, which that did happen. That did happen. That's not a lie. He did try to get me to watch anime, and he was the last little push I needed to actually start the process of trying to find anime that I liked and just dip my toes in, so to speak. He was that final catalyst, or he was that final. He gave me the final push I needed. But if I am completely honest, There was somebody when I was 15 that I met, and I I don't know if I don't know if he saw it this way, but I thought we kind of hit it off a bit. Like, we shared a lot of the same tastes and stuff, as far as I remember. Now, look, I was 15. This was a very long time ago. But I remember we ended up hanging out. I the circumstances there were some certain circumstances, and we ended up hanging out. We didn't intend to, but we ended up hanging out. And I absolutely loved the discussion that we had. And I found out that he liked anime, and he was telling me some about it. And I was like, oh my goodness, I like this guy. There's so many, he's cool, for one thing, which I don't think he thought of himself that way. I still don't think he does. But I've always thought he's cool. So I heard about anime from him. I heard about manga because he drew manga. And I was like, oh my goodness, this is so cool. And one of the things that I really liked was that he was creative. As somebody who is also creative or has that mindset of being creative, where I always have to be doing something, which is part of why I love Minecraft. I love The Sims. I can create homes in The Sims. I can create Sims. I can control their lives. They can also become creative. They can also be creative themselves. You can also be an art. You can be art critics. You can be anything you want. And then here comes Minecraft. I picked up Minecraft because it's also a very creative game. Like, I am making stuff by placing down squares. How cool is that? That this is nothing but squares. This is all squares. It's just cubes put together, and it's gorgeous, and I absolutely love this game. I can use those same cubes or different cubes, do stuff to them, make the cubes look different, put them down, and make something entirely different. It's it's one of the coolest things. So I think part of why we really hit it off, in my opinion, was that we were both creative. But he made manga. He drew it. He wrote it. Whatever. And I think he still does it. I'm not entirely certain, but I'm pretty sure he does. Um, but I do remember that. But he was the first one that actually mentioned anything about anime to me, and I started thinking about it. At the time, I was 15, and my parents actually heavily controlled what I watched and what I did online, which they actually had kind of good reason for it. But anyway, they heavily monitored me, and they did not want me watching anime. Not so much because they were against it, but because they didn't like it. They didn't see the appeal of it. And if my parents didn't see the appeal of it, a lot of the time I was not allowed to watch it, look at it, or whatever. If my parents couldn't understand the appeal of it, there were a lot of things that they let me do, but anime was not one of them. So later on, after I started working, which I didn't get a job until after I was 18. Um, so I didn't get a job until after I was 18. But I was working with this guy, and he kept talking about anime, like, all the time. It was something that he was constantly talking about. So I eventually asked him, this is not the first time I've heard of anime. What's good about it? Tell me something I should watch to get started. I wouldn't mind watching it. And so he started listing off some stuff. After he asked me what I liked, he started listing off some stuff to try. So I stuck my toes in. Or rather, I didn't just stick a toe in. Let me rephrase that. I didn't just stick a toe in. I dove in head first. He gave me he gave me a couple of suggestions, and then he said, just whatever you like, look for it. Just search it up. You'll find it. I suggest using this particular website to find something. I don't remember what website it was, but I do remember I didn't like the website, so I Googled something. So I Googled anime websites and I found Crunchyroll, and it's what I swear by even today. I have been a long time subscriber to them. So I started off watching, believe it or not, I did not start off watching sports anime even though that's my go-to these days. I did not start off watching sports anime. The reason being was that I don't like sports. Spoiler alert. I actually hate sports. I don't like I will sit through basketball, football, baseball. I won't complain. I won't tell you to turn it off. I won't complain, but I don't like it. Not because I don't understand the game. Like, I understand what's going on. I understand where the ball is or the puck is. I know where it's going. I know what the objective is. Don't know who's playing. I don't know who I should root for or who you want me to root for, usually, in most cases. But I understand what's going on. I can pick up on the rules fairly easily. And if I can't pick up on the rules, I know how to ask. I know how to ask questions. So if I don't understand, I know how to ask. But I don't enjoy sports at all. He suggested a sports anime to me. I forget what it was. I think it was a Hiro no Sora. Um, but I told him I'm not into sports. He told me, well, that's fine, but sports anime is not like sports. It's not like watching sports. I didn't believe him, but then he told me, okay, well, try searching up something that you like. There's romance anime, there's superheroes. If you like superheroes, because I know you talk about Spider Man a lot, if you like superheroes, try checking out My Hero Academia. It's pretty good. So I did. I went, I looked up My Hero Academia, I looked up romance anime, I looked up a lot of stuff. Now, my introduction to anime, some people will say it was the best introduction, some people will say it would be the worst introduction. The very first anime I ever watched was Yuri on Ice. I had no idea what the show was. I just like, oh, Victor's cute. I'm going to look at this. And so I watched it. Um, it's not my favorite anime. I have a weird relationship with that anime, to be honest. But I think one of the next animes I watched was actually My Hero Academia, which has since turned into one of my very favorite animes, and I am completely convinced that Horikoshi is one of the best writers of all time. I am convinced of this. But now, I have to say, my third anime was not even Haikyuu. That was not even my third anime. Haikyuu is not my third anime. I don't really think My Hero was my third anime either. I think that was actually probably my fourth or fifth, or more than that. I remember that I started watching Oh, what was the name of it? I think at the time the next anime I watched was Say I Love You, which I was very taken with that anime. I'll be honest. I was and I still am very taken with that anime, and then I have a lot of people like, "What anime is that?" If you don't know Say I Love You, you don't know art. But then I have to say it took a very, very, very long time for me to watch A Silent Voice, and I know that probably irritates a lot of people. But it took me a long time to actually watch it because it's an anime movie. For some reason, anime movies and me, we don't meld well. I don't really care to watch anime movies too much. It has to be an anime I like, first of all, for me to want to watch the movie. Second of all, I don't really get the point of an anime movie when it's just usually about 3 episodes together. And that's all it is. But I have to say, A Silent Voice, when I finally did watch it, that is probably one of the absolute best animes in existence. One of the absolute best movies in existence. Especially when it comes to mental health. So, well, let me. Okay, so this is something that's probably going to be a little controversial. But I just feel like I have to say this. Shoujo anime that is full of tropes that everybody rags on is actually probably one of the best shows. That's it. Now, when I say full of tropes, I mean ones that are just like every episode hits on the same thing. It's very cookie cutter, I guess you'd say. It sorry. So what I mean by that is it's an anime that is every episode hits on certain things. Like you have your beach episode, then you have your episode where one of them forgets their umbrella, so they have to share, and it's this huge romantic thing. A lot of it was actually made. Okay, full disclosure, I hate Nozaki-kun. I hate that anime. I also love that anime, but I hate that anime. I hate the show, but I love the show. It's a very odd relationship, guys. It's very love hate. But he touches on a lot of the very common things in shoujo anime and manga. But I love those things. I do. I understand when people don't like them because it's very overused, and it is. It is very overused. Very, very overused. But that's what makes it good, though. There's a reason why it's overused. It's good. Anyway, so like, I think the second anime that I really watched was Real Life. I'll be honest. I'm pretty sure Real Life was the very second anime that I watched. Um, I Forgot that I had all this in my inventory. Um, Pretty sure that Real Life was the second one that I watched. Then there was then I really started watching the shoujo animes. Watched Say I Love You, uh, Confessions of an MMO Junkie, or The Recovery of an MMO Junkie, actually, I believe. Oh my goodness, that looks terrible. It was Recovery of an MMO Junkie. But then I started watching like Haikyuu, and so I started branching out. I watched Haikyuu and My Hero Academia. Haikyuu was actually a struggle for me to get into. I'll be honest with that. Like, I say it's my favorite now, and it is, but at the time, it was such a huge struggle to get into it. It, okay, so first of all, I hate sports. And it was the very first sports anime that I actually watched. I had no idea what sports anime was like. I just remember seeing that this particular season there was Haikyuu that was coming back next season, and this season already had Ace of the Diamond airing. It was like a second season of Ace of the Diamond, and then you had a Hiro no Sora that was airing as well, and I was just, oh, there's so much sports anime, and it all just seems so hype. I'm gonna give it a shot. Stupid grass. This is why we don't touch grass, guys. It's stupid. Not even sure I've been out of my room this week, other than work. Outdoors was outdoors. So anyway, I started watching Haikyuu, and it was the very first sports anime I watched. I looked at everything else, and I'm like, the only one out of these that I know nothing about, or well, the only two that I know nothing about is baseball and volleyball. Of the ones being of the ones airing. So I'm like, those are the only sports I don't know anything about. I wonder if they can actually make this somewhat exciting or somewhat interesting. So I clicked on Haikyuu. I watched the first episode. Well, by this point, I had developed the sense of after the first three episodes, or excuse me, I had developed the self rule. The first three episodes, give any anime 3 episodes to prove itself. After the third episode, if it's horrible or if it's just too cringe, leave it. If you don't like the animation, leave it. So I decided I'll give Haikyuu 3 episodes to prove itself. Because I cringed my way through the entire first episode. I cringed my way through episode 2. Then finally, at the end of episode 3, I was in love with the characters. It wasn't the show that drew me to it. It wasn't volleyball. It wasn't the typical atmosphere of a typical uh, shonen anime, sports anime, rather. It wasn't the typical it wasn't that. It was the characters. I fell in love with Hinata. I fell in love with Tobio. I fell in love with all of it. Just, ugh. Okay. Just every aspect of that show, I just fell in love with it. It took a few episodes, though, for me to really like the story and really truly understand the story. I'm not entirely sure why it took me that long, but it took me about most of the first season to really catch on to the story. Or not catch on to the story, but actually enjoy the story. I just like the characters. But yeah. But I think my love of anime is actually where my love of VTubers comes from. Probably. Whoops. Okay, so let's see. Let's do one back this way. Also, I am kind of starting to lose my voice again. I apologize. I've just been doing more talking yesterday and today than I think I have in a very long while. How long have I been streaming? Not as long as I thought. So yeah, that's how I got into anime. The guy that I thought was very cool introduced me to anime, and then somebody I work with gave me the final nudge. So yeah, so I apparently became an anime fanatic. Now I've always really tended towards things with good stories and reading. Like no joke, I used to find the thickest books at the library and bring them home and read them in a single weekend. Like three of the thickest books I could find at the library, I'll take them home and read them over the weekend. And I would start like Friday evening and be finished before Sunday night, or sometimes be finished on Sunday night, and I would be able to go back to the library on Monday because my parents wouldn't let me when I was a kid. Because I didn't really live that close to the library, so I could only go on like certain days. But yeah. So tomorrow I still want to play Minecraft. The only reason, like tomorrow, if I don't play Minecraft, it'll be because I figured out how to make The Sims 4 actually work on stream. So you may see like a small little stream from me later on today. That's just me troubleshooting. So if you see like a little stream pop up on Twitch at like maybe 8 or 9 Eastern, that's probably just me troubleshooting. You don't need to stop by. I also noticed that right when I was going live, that one of the new Nijisanji members that debuted yesterday, I noticed he was going live at the same time. So I was going over some games that I actually have, and I think I'm going to end up doing a new poll of games for games. I actually found that I have Need for Speed Most Wanted, which actually, if I had to say, is a lot like GTA, except you don't have like players and economy and all that stuff. Like you can't go around to actual stores and rob banks and what have you. Like that's not in the game. It is an open world game. You can drive around. You can race. Each car that you can find has its own specific race. It's not the one that I used to play that I'm really good at. I used to actually own the 2005 version of Need for Speed Most Wanted. That version is my favorite. That's my favorite version of Most Wanted because it actually has better handling, better controls. It drives better. The races are better. It's more the open world. While it's not quite as while it's maybe not quite as open as the newer version, and you don't hunt down cars, you can still buy cars. It has more of a natural feel to it than this one does. This new one, I am not a huge fan of, but I still would like to play it. Maybe play it on stream once I get a hang of the controls, because I am absolutely horrendous, and I can't figure out how to fix the controls either. I think partly because it's not letting me play with the controller that I have. Like I have an Xbox controller that I can use, or that I use with my laptop. Um, if I don't use the Xbox controller, the only other thing I have are the Joy. It's a Pro controller for the Nintendo Switch, and that's not really an option for this. If it's having trouble recognizing my that startled me. If it's having trouble recognizing my regular Xbox controller, there's no way I can use Joy Cons or use a Pro controller for the Switch. There's a chicken dinner, but maybe not a winner because he became dinner. Oh, but I really have to say that I prefer the old version of it. Now, I'm one of those people that really used to, not so much anymore, I guess, because I don't have the same setup I used to have, and so it's harder for me to control stuff. But I used to be a very avid Need for Speed player. I never tried to become nationally ranked or ranked, period, on anything, but I will say that I'm pretty sure had I tried to become nationally ranked, I would have been at least the top 100 when I used to play Need for Speed back in 2000 when it came out in 2005. I never tried to see if I could become nationally ranked. Now, my dad at one point he was nationally ranked for Need for Speed 6, Hot Pursuit 2. He actually was nationally ranked, and I think he was number 2 in the United States at one point on several tracks. I don't know how he became nationally ranked, but he was nationally ranked. I think he was second to the same person. Like every place he was ranked number 2, he lost to the same person. He was always the only person he was ever second to was the same person. I don't really know what happened to that guy or where he is now or anything like that. Um, I just know he used to race under the name Razor long before uh, Most Wanted became a thing. Like Most Wanted, the number one guy there, his name is Razor. But this guy used to race under the name Razor, and he was nationally ranked number one on several tracks, if I remember right. I'm not sure if I'm actually getting that right. I just know that he and my dad were like online friends and offline friends. Like they met online and they became friends offline afterwards at some point. So that was kind of cool. But I never tried to become nationally ranked in anything. I really think, though, if I did become nationally ranked in anything, um, I would more likely be nationally ranked for. Oh goodness, I don't even know. Maybe the original version of Most Wanted, I would become nationally ranked at some point. But I haven't played that game in years. Like my laptop right now, the laptop I'm using to play Minecraft on and stream from, it's not compatible with discs. Like I cannot stick a CD in it. I can't stick a CD in it, can't stick a DVD in it. It's very annoying that that's the case, but it is. And it's the game I don't think would be compatible with Windows 11 anyway. I would need to either run a virtual machine where I could play something on Windows um, XP, I think it was, that it played on best. Windows XP or Windows Vista, Windows 7, something like that. I would need one of those, actually, to be able to play it. I would need either a machine that ran, I would either need a computer that ran XP or something like that, or be able to set up a virtual machine to run it. And I don't have the know how to set up a virtual machine. I don't have, that's not my area of expertise. So, but even if I did have that, I would need something like my old setup that I had. So, my old setup was a steering wheel and pedals. Like, I had a steering wheel and pedals, and it was one of the absolute best sets that I had ever had. It was so good. I would need to buy another one of those, another set. And once I had that, I would need to run the some races a few times and try to evade cops a few times, and then we could talk about whether or not I could be nationally ranked. But I would need some time to actually do that, get reacquainted with it. I mean, because as it stands, I'm not like if I went and picked up the game right now and tried to play it, let's just say it could play on my computer as is, I would not be able to do much of anything. I would be crashing into everything because it's been so long. But then again, muscle memory maybe. I don't know, muscle memory maybe. Maybe muscle memory would actually kick in. Who knows? So yeah, I think one of the other games I might add to it is actually Most Wanted. Sorry, but then again, I'm not that great at the newer version of it, so maybe not. It's just something I'm going to think about. However, there are some games that you guys may not know what they are. You may not have heard of these. They're by they're made by a company called Her Interactive. They make Nancy Drew based video games or Nancy Drew themed video games. You may have actually seen the game Midnight in Salem circulating around that Nancy Drew game circulating around. That's one of the games that they make. But I think that's number 31. Like that was the 31st game they put out. They have a lot of other games as well. I don't know if they're working on putting out more or what because it was weird to me. It was weird to me when I saw the ending of that game that they didn't announce the next one at the end or tease the next one. And it's not even teased on their website. So I'm kind of wondering if maybe they're planning on just not putting out any more games or what's going on. Because if they don't put out any more games, I'm going to be hard up for Nancy Drew games if they do that. But I don't know why they wouldn't because they actually make like quality games. I would like to play some on stream just to show you guys. But I know that Nancy Drew is a very niche audience. Nancy Drew is a very niche audience. There's probably like in total one or two people that watch it consistently because it's just not very popular. And if you go on YouTube and you look up Nancy Drew video games, there's hardly anybody streaming them. But that's partially because there are so many different ones, I think. I think that if they just consolidated them all into the same thing, Nancy Drew tag, and everybody just put it in their description or in their video name, which game it is they're playing, I think that would actually solve a lot of the problems of being able to find it, because you have like Nancy Drew, Danger by Design. Then you have Nancy Drew, The Deadly Device. And then you have Nancy Drew, Ransom of the Seven Ships. Then you have Nancy Drew, The Secret of the Old Clock, playing on the very first book of Nancy Drew that came out. And then you have Nancy Drew, Secrets Can Kill, based on one of the first Nancy Drew books to come out in the Nancy Drew Case File series. Then you have some other things, some other titles, but I think they're all classified as that title, like they're all separate. And yeah, they are different games, but it's the same game as well, because they're all Nancy Drew. It's kind of like taking. Okay, so I'm just going to kind of talk about stuff I don't know for just a second. So I hope you excuse me if I am making mistakes, and correct me if I'm wrong. You can at me on Twitter. You can say it in the chat or whatever. It's fine. But separating the Nancy Drew games like that is like taking every single Pokemon game that's ever been created and giving it a different name, which maybe this is something they already do, I don't know, and giving it a name and never ever listing Pokemon under the same name. Or like taking the different Pokemon that exist and saying, oh, it's not this, it's this other thing. Or maybe not. I don't know how Pokemon works, I'll be honest. It's not something I ever really got into. But it's kind of weird. I understand it to an extent, but it's also kind of weird the way it's done, because instead of looking for Nancy Drew and just making it kind of collective so that way it's easier to find for people that don't know what they're looking at, or helping people be discovered because they're playing a Nancy Drew game and nobody's really sure which game it is exactly. At least that's how it was for me last time I looked at it. Maybe they went in there and changed things. But the last time I tried to find a Nancy Drew game, I couldn't just search Nancy Drew and just find it. I had to actually look for a specific game title. If they haven't changed it, they really ought to change it. There we go. Alright, guys, I think I'm just going to go ahead and end stream here. We're almost at the 2 hour mark anyway. So, tomorrow, like I said, I'm going to try to play around a little bit tonight and just see if I can get The Sims 4 to work. If I can, I will stream that tomorrow. If I cannot, I will actually just stream Minecraft. But I will have something planned. I will actually be making a couple of farms tomorrow. Or at least one farm. Or at least getting materials to make a farm next weekend. But I think this week I'm going to get the stuff together to make between this week's stream and next week, I'm going to try to get stuff together to make a raid farm and a wither farm. So, a wither farm, I know what you're thinking, is going to be a lot. Which it kind of will be, but at the same time, there is a shortcut. Okay? There's a shortcut. There's a shortcut to a good wither farm. What that shortcut is, I'm going to heavily think sorry, I had a cough. I will heavily think Logical Geek Boy because it is his design. I know that most of the things I make is actual Logical Geek Boy's design. So, it's not going to be any different. There is a very simple way to make a wither farm, and it does not involve tearing down a fortress. So, we're not going to tear down a fortress. We are, however, going to get together about a shulker or two of pressure plates to spawn proof a fortress. And we're going to go and find one in the nether, which I think I have a homesteaded one that I planned on using. We're going to go find a place in the nether and a fortress in the nether, and then we're going to actually put together a very, very simple design that is minimal effort, maximum output. Work smarter, not harder, you know. So we're going to look forward to that next week. I'm going to try to get all the stuff together for that this week. And also, I do plan on making a what's it called again? A I just said it a few minutes ago. Like I was going to make a wither farm and then raid farm. That's it. I'm also going to be making a raid farm, so that one also is going to be pretty simple. It's also maximum output, uh, maximum output, minimum effort. So we actually did get some progress into. Ow! Ugh, my lovelies. Okay, so that's all for me today, guys. Um, raid farm. This raid farm is going to be a bit different. It's not your typical raid farm. Oh my goodness, there's a creeper. You see it? Right there. It's right there, guys. Shh. Come on, turn back this way. I want to get my screenshot. It just disappeared. Okay. I can't even laugh. Oh, that sounded horrible. Anyway, bye guys. I will see you guys tomorrow. I I hope I can stream Sims 4, but if all else fails, we'll be streaming Minecraft tomorrow. So I'll see you then.